Hey, what's up, Guan? Bonjour, famille. It's Bump Jonas, and I'm chilling with.
Quietly brilliant.
We about to do Lab Legends here at Emerald Dreams Lab. Let's get started. All right, man. So first of all, I want to thank you. Really, I just want to thank you for your time and the
Yeah.
opportunity to get to interview you. You mentioned off camera this is your first time. That's
First
crazy,
interview.
man. Now, and I
Yeah.
find I guess that's dope in a way because you really are quietly brilliant. You stay behind the scenes in that regard. Like
Yeah.
you haven't stepped out.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for giving us that opportunity to like, yo, I want to step out and say something. I want y'all to be the ones that do that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, man, what's a hustler eat for breakfast?
I'm not really a breakfast dude. That's what's crazy.
You get to it.
I get to it, man. I want food right when I hit my feet hit the ground. But if I was to eat breakfast, just like some turkey, bacon, eggs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been doing management, and how long have you been in the management realm?
Probably about 3 years.
Okay.
About
And is
3
that
years.
the proper hat to put on you right now, as far as like the main hat you wear, the main title?
Management manager of music.
Okay.
Either
Okay.
or, yeah.
Okay. And that's really what I want to get into is how many different hats are you wearing, and where do you fall in the grand scheme of things? Like who is quietly brilliant? What do you do and why?
As far as musically, just I have an ear for music, and I see them early, like and I get it with them early, and get in the studio with them early, and try to inspire them a little bit. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? I don't feel like they give the youth here enough enough credit or their due.
Mm.
So what I would do was about 3 years ago, I would just pay for 8 hours of studio time
Okay.
at FSP.
Okay.
Shout out to Festive, and just invite different artists,
Okay.
young artists, and let them come in there and get free studio time.
Oh shit.
Take their songs with them. I don't want nothing from the song, and I just did that.
Oh
out
wow.
Out of my heart.
So instead of handing out turkeys, you was handing out studio time.
Yes, yes,
All
yes.
right, that's fire. That's fire. Shout out to you for that. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, what? I mean, really, that was the start. That was how you kind of like grew the interest or got into the mix of things,
Right,
right? Okay.
exactly.
All right. So, what was the catalyst? What was the we talked off camera and you were, you tried to rap some time ago. I shouldn't say try. I don't mean it that way. You rap sometime.
I tried.
but my point is, at some point, you realize like that's not for me, but you still wanted to be in the music realm of things. It seems like, right? So
Yeah.
what was the catalyst to get you into the management role?
My cousin actually, Wax Gotti. I
Okay.
don't know if you know
Yep,
Wax.
definitely.
I heard him rap and I was taken back,
Mm.
and was like, we got to get this heard.
Okay.
And since when he started or became known as a rapper, I was down.
Down,
And then,
okay.
yeah.
So that was your first foray into management as well, or is it
Well,
just like?
yeah, management, learning anything for real about the business.
Okay,
you know.
okay. The music as a whole just became like a whole world of interest to you at that
Yes,
point. Okay,
yes, yes.
okay. I love that. So let's talk about the name Quietly Brilliant. You had mentioned again off camera that you were just determined to get that name. You wanted that name. So is that your brand? Is that what's the focus behind that term or that phrase for you?
I like to play the back. I'm not too much of an upfront guy,
Okay,
but I feel like I'm brilliant. I feel like, you know what I'm saying?
you got to.
There's nothing I can't do.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
All
So,
right.
but I don't want to be loud about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people like, oh, he's arrogant. So I'll be quietly brilliant. You know, no arrogance.
That's
Just
a bar.
yeah.
I fuck with that. All right. So, if you can, I mean, as best you can, describe your clients and why you work with them.
First of all, I have to be a fan first, and then if I see the talent there, I feel like there's steps to everything. and I try to do my best for them. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Maybe I'm a step that can help you get further in your career. Um, Help with your streams, get your streams up. I do that. I don't do too many shows in Kansas City because I feel like we don't get pushed enough
Mm.
in our own city. So
So in that regard, you're looking to have your artists placed elsewhere in terms of shows, or
yeah,
okay,
elsewhere or on the road, get them up to some nice streams to where they can actually do music and focus on music.
okay, okay. So let me ask you, when it comes to the studio, what's your role or function in that environment? What role do you play there?
I'm an A&R. I play all kind of hats. I produce a little bit. Me and Stone's neighbor.
Oh shit!
Uh,
Does anyone
Greg.
else know this? That you produce a little bit? You got your name on some? Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
a few people know.
That's
Not
what's up.
many. I got
Okay.
producer credits, but yeah, just listening to what they doing. Yeah, yes, that's it. Maybe not. Try this, try that. I'm that guy.
You're the artist development guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're the idea guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a tangent on this, and I don't mean to be too, I don't know, controversial. But what's your take on Yes Men? And really, what my curiosity stems from Kanye and his recent rants, and a lot of the stigma around him comes from having too many Yes Men, right?
Right.
So what is your take on that? How do you communicate to an artist, because they're sensitive about this shit, right?
Right.
So how do you balance that? No, that's not gonna work. Man, you gotta fluff them and make them feel good about what they're doing, right?
Yeah, but you also have to keep it 100 with them.
Okay.
At the same time, honesty is just the best way. You try not to be too much of a critic because I'm not gonna like everything.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying? So take everything I say with a grain of salt, just like you do with everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
And I could be wrong.
But he might not be though. That shit
I
might
could be
wrong.
wrong. Yeah.
So I don't know. Sometimes we just need to accept the fact that your homeboys might be right that shit is trash. And
Yeah.
let them have the space to tell you that the shit is trash.
Yeah. Art should be judged. Art should be judged.
Come on. Because that's what, I mean, that's a whole tangent. We're not going to go into that.
Yeah.
But I agree. I like where you're going with that. So let me ask you, would you say that your management style is hands-on or hands-off?
More hands-on with the music.
Okay.
Hands-off with the artist. I don't, I let them be them,
Now, what does that mean when you say hands-on with the music, hands-off with the artist?
As far as getting it on the right playlists, the right spots where it needs to be to get streams, creating playlists, getting with other people, top playlist creators, to get their songs on those playlists, Apple playlists, Spotify, any DSP. I figured out how to do all of that.
Okay, so you got it set up for them to make the play for them in the
Yes.
right ways.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
And at the same time, you let the artist be the artist. So you're not like, hey, that's not a good look for you, or those optics are bad. It's more like, hey, these streams are working over here. You get motion over here. That
Yeah,
type. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So here's a question: how do you approach morale and uplifting your team? And the reason I say that is a lot of times, you have multiple artists,
Right.
but they all, in the way you present it, they all tend to work as a team in some kind of way.
Right.
So that's why I ask it that way.
Just to stay consistent, man. You have to stay consistent. That's the way you keep morale up. Because as soon as you take a break, you know what I'm saying, you can miss your shot. You know what I'm saying? If this is what you want to do, let's go. Let's go.
I hope y'all hearing
Yeah.
this, man. This is the first time I've had a chance to interview a manager. So I'm soaking up game from you in the sense of like, this is how someone that's moving around in the industry perceives things. So this is really good, insightful information. Y'all really need to take these gems. Just saying, all right. So with that theme going, how do you keep or how do you approach keeping artists accountable?
Um, I really don't have to. If I'm gonna work with you, I've already did my research, and
Mm,
you have to be accountable already.
okay.
Uh, I'm not. I'm not anybody's dad by far. I'm not here to raise anybody. So you got to be mature enough to be ready for what comes with this. I don't have time for that.
Ooh, shit. I like that. I like that. That was, and you have a very calm and positive energy, very chill demeanor. But that comment right there, I don't have time for that. That lets you know, like, we chill. There's work to be done, and then we get back to the chill. We don't got no time for no
Yeah,
BS.
yeah.
I like that. I fuck with that. Quietly brilliant. There's a theme there, y'all. All right, so to you, from your perspective, who's the best manager in the business, whether people know of them or not?
So many man that's doing their thing right now. Ghazi.
Mm.
Uh, any. What's his name? La Russell.
Lil Russell, yeah, yeah,
Anything he's doing, he's his own team.
yeah,
And him
yeah.
and his pops, I think it is, and them, man, I watch them closely.
They're amazing.
I get a lot of game from them.
game. Now, okay, here's that's a great segue. What are your thoughts on Dame Dash?
I love him.
Okay, he can be a polarizing character to some.
Yeah. I mean, I probably like him because I'm the total opposite. You know what
Okay,
I'm
okay,
saying?
because you're quiet. and
Yeah,
reserved.
he doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't care. He's gonna speak his mind. Well, therefore, I might hold my tongue.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
okay.
On a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
So how has that served you as a manager or being in the music industry, being more reserved? How's that helped you?
I see a lot of people that want the spotlight and all in the flash and all that. I just want the money. I just want the money, man, and that's really it, man. I don't really have time for nothing else. Let's
I
get
like
this
that.
business done and let's do business and make great music and let's get it heard and
Let's get to it.
let's get to it.
I like that, man. I like that. So, all right, this was a pretty simple one, and you kind of already answered them. But what are some qualities that you look for in an artist as you're doing your research and your due diligence, and before you? Now, here's kind of a tangent. Do you make the offer to the artist to be their manager, or do you kind of let them come to you and spark the conversation?
I let them come to me.
Okay.
I let 'em- everybody that I've managed has approached me. I haven't.
You haven't approached them.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, it's
Now,
pretty dope.
in that regard, what are some qualities that you're looking for in an artist before you decide? And I know you mentioned you do your homework. So before you say yes as they come to you, what do they have to have already exhibited, or what are you looking for?
Talent first.
Okay.
Talent first, and then you gotta create a work ethic because most of them don't have a good work ethic in the studio as far as going on a consistent basis. So you want to instill that in them. You know what I'm saying? Make it consistent. Just make music. And are they down for? And no, it ain't coming overnight. Don't get the big head so soon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get that big head so soon because you'll be disappointed. And you'll
How do
be
you deal with that?
surprised.
How do you deal with that? The big head when they're because I
Are they
imagine you
feeling
see it. Yeah.
I see it. It's funny. First of all, it's funny. But my daddy used to tell me you're a pretty sad dog if you can't wag your own tail.
Oh shit.
So you take it.
That's
Take it.
okay.
Let them have it.
I love that. I love that. Speaking of letting them have it, man, what are your thoughts on KC getting the spotlight? One of my main themes that I like to say is KC the new Mecca. We're starting to see a lot of attention. It's been that way, but we're starting to like really tune up a little more. So what are your thoughts on that motion that's happening?
I love it. I think it's overdue. once we can come together and actually show the love to each other like we're supposed to,
Mm.
like everybody else is doing, or we got to follow suit. That's the only way it's going to work. Uh, stop the hating. Stop the hating, man. We need backing from everybody. Kansas City is a unit. We're a unit. If we don't rep us, who will? You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. We gotta rep. We gotta rep and show love to each other. Post, repost each other, man. Don't be shy to do that. Don't be shy. Post it, post it, post it, share it, share it, share it.
Fuck with it, man. Wag your own tails. Well, I don't know if we can say wag each other tails, but man, put the flag up there. I love it, man. I love it. All right, so we've been talking about managers, and I want to shift just a little bit because you also have a podcast, Heart of the 50 States.
Yeah, Heart of the 50.
Now, so talk to us a little bit about what you intend to speak about on the podcast, and what made you get off the porch in that regard when it comes to podcasting.
The youth again, man. I don't feel like they get enough attention or enough. We got some dope young artists out here, and I don't feel like they get the interviews. So I want to bring them onto the podcast, get to know them, man. Don't know them just from the songs or what you hear. I want you to see that they're real people. You know what I'm saying? The young ones, the real young ones.
You go, and I think what's beautiful about that is that in a way you're giving them the experience and by proxy the media training that we need within the industry, especially here in KC. So you're helping form the infrastructure of artists. I love that, man. Shout outs to you for what you're doing. So from your perspective, and we've already touched on it in some ways, but I want to just real quickly, what is a manager's job, and when do you think an artist needs a manager?
I would say as soon as you start taking music seriously, go ahead and find you one. I mean, certain ones can only take you so far. Like, I don't expect to be your manager forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and if it's time for me to get out the way, I'll move out the way. But as far as, you know, if you're getting that look and people are feeling you, you're listening to your music, you got some live streams coming in already, you need help. You need a team. A management is a part of the team to start the team building, to help you out in those in those senses of the music industry.
I love that. One thing I caught on though is like, you know, hey, I don't expect to be a manager forever for the entirety of your career, and I don't know if many managers. Well, I guess my question is, do managers walk in with that idea, or are they looking to lock in this client for the long term?
I mean, if it happens, I mean, I know there's some that'll never leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if I've done, or if you feel like I've done as much, or if you don't feel like I'm doing enough, feel free. You know, I have no problem, no hard feelings.
I would think in the long run that most artist-manager relationships aren't that long run, that they're going to constantly be elevating and move to another one. But this is like I said, it's the first time interviewing a manager, so it's an interesting angle to be like, you kind of have to be aware that you may not have this client for the long haul. And you're going to have to watch them succeed on a different level that you aren't engaged in sometimes. So that's an interesting perspective. Speaking of perspective, I want to ask you, how do you navigate music and relationships? Being a married man, the music industry itself has its own stigma of sorts. So, you know, and I don't want to get too personal or, you know, create no hot water, but how do you navigate those situations?
Just be honest, man. Honesty is the best way. Communication. Communication. Your partner absolutely has to see your dream too. You know what I'm saying? That's a major part of it. If they don't see the dream, then it's probably not gonna work.
Trouble waters.
Right.
Trouble waters.
She has to be able to understand that there's late nights, you know, early mornings where you know, days you might not see me all day.
Right.
Awkward times. Studio, or even coming along with me to the studio. And she'd be bored, but it's
Part of the game, man.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to ask this one. I call it studio feng shui. And basically, I know you spend a lot of time in the studio as you're working with the artists. So what are some things from your perspective that you prefer to have in the studio and prefer to not have in the studio so that you generally are going to have a good session?
Really no more than like 3 or 4 people. I don't like a lot of people. I've did that in the past, and it didn't really work too well. Just the artist to feel comfortable in the setting. Most important thing.
For them to be like, in their natural.
Yeah, where they can focus on the music. That's
I love that. You're a very artist-centric guy, and you have a very community-based mindset. You still focus on getting the money, but you're like really trying to affect your environment. Is that something that has always been there, or is it something that kind of happened over the course of being part of the music industry?
I think it's always been there, man.
Okay.
Because growing up, we didn't have the options to go to a studio. I think we had Paseo High School.
Right.
Was the only studio I knew of that was in close range that you can probably even go to do anything besides the ones in somebody's basement.
Right.
So just open up the doors.
Man.
Open up the doors. No gatekeeping. I want to teach everything that I know to somebody else,
Man.
so they can teach it to somebody else.
I'm really, really glad that we got this opportunity to sit down because I've always enjoyed and loved your energy and what you present. As far as what I see, in the world, but being able to get into the physical presence with you is like, oh no, this guy is genuinely about growth, about getting to the money, but also about helping and supporting the community. I like that. With that, I want to ask you, how do you want your artists to walk away from an experience with you, whether it be a session or let's say, actually let's make it more specific. Let's say an artist has been a client of yours for 6 months to a year or 2 years or whatever, and during that time, things start to, they outgrow the situation, right? When it's time for y'all to part ways, what do you want them to walk away from as far as their experience with you?
First of all, that someone cared enough to even, give the time to put into them. To understanding I'm always here, even if we don't work. You know what I'm saying? No hating. I still push you. You know what I'm saying? I want the best for everybody, man. Why not? It's enough for everybody.
There's nothing else to add to that. That's fire. That's fire.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for a book or something from you, man. Or something. Some like postcard quotes or some shit, man. Now look, that's been our time, man. It's Bump Jonas. I had a dope-ass conversation here with
Quietly Brilliant.
This is our lab legends, man, here at the Emerald Dreams Lab. Y'all make sure you tap in. Stay dope, all right? Have a good one. Peace.